The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, it's been what? Let me see. The last time I went live was the aftermath of Bakram Murtazalia versus Tim Tszyu. So it's been what? You guys do the math. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm not sure how long it's been, but it's been a damn long time. Too long. I gotta stop having these droughts on YouTube, but I wanted to come through and just talk to you guys for a little bit. I'm in my little Airbnb that I got for a night in Japan. And normally when I'm in Japan, I don't normally get places um where I can just talk. I'm like the little dorms where you can't even talk at all. So now I can actually talk. And you know what? I want to make this a long live because I haven't been here for a while, so I want to make sure that you guys we get a chance to talk because I do consider a lot of you guys kind of like extended family, my extended boxing family, and I don't like when I go absent on my boxing family. So it's 6:09 here in Japan. I'm gonna try to go to at least 8:30, maybe 8:45. So I'm thinking I want to make this a 2 hour live. So 2 hours, y'all go ahead and y'all ask whatever the hell it is you want. Smash that like button so this live gets pushed out to as many people as possible. I want to interact with people. I want to get my thoughts out there on boxing because these things are like therapy for me. I really do enjoy these lives. So yeah, I'll be here for at least like 2 hours. So yeah. Let me see. David F says, "I love your lives, no homo." Thank you so much, man. I gotta get better at going live more often. Um, he says, "How come I can't get footage of Johan Vasquez getting stopped by Tensindent or Denabat?" I don't know. I don't know. It's weird because boxing, you would think with boxing being so low on the totem pole of mainstream sports, particularly in America, you would think that boxing would make it more accessible for people to get footage and highlights of fighters and their fights. But no, boxing is the opposite. Um, Boxing sometimes makes it easier or harder to find the fights. You'd have an easier time finding the nuclear codes than finding highlights or footage to some of these fights. So that's just what it is. I don't know. My main man, Falling Star, says, since the yen is so weak to the dollar, what are you planning to do in Japan when things are cheaper for you? I recommend to try out Tokyo Disneyland. That's not a bad idea. I'm not a big, like, Disney type person, to be honest with you. I don't really like Disney like that, but I would go. But no, I'm definitely gonna do the Mario Karts in Shibuya. I'm definitely gonna go to Cosmo World in Yokohama. It's this amusement park that I wanted to go to last time. I didn't get a chance to go, so I'm gonna go to Cosmo World. I'm gonna do the Mario Karts. I definitely wanna go to as many restaurants as possible and eat. So I don't know. I'm kind of figuring things out as I go. I'm trying to go to as many parks as possible. I'm gonna take the bullet train some more. I want to take all kinds of different trains. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to do because I just discovered like yesterday that apparently Japan has their own ice hockey league. Like they have their own version of the NHL, but it's not very big. It only has 5 teams. So I want to go check out a Japanese hockey game. That'd be fun. Maybe some sumo wrestling. I'm definitely gonna check out some boxing at Korakuen Hall. I've been in contact with some of my friends here in Japan in the boxing community that own gyms and things like that. Um, there's a couple of Japanese club shows that I'm probably gonna be at really really soon. There's one on the 12th, and then there's one on the 19th, and then I've also been in contact with some people about potentially trying to cover the Naya Inoue media workout for Sam Goodman. I'm not even trying to cover the fight. I'm just trying to see if I can cover the media workout at his gym. So I'm trying to work that out. So there's definitely a lot of things going on, and I'm having a good time. I feel like this has been a great time for your boy BT because I'm not burnt out. I feel like a creative recharge, and I'm still getting used to the time zone while my body's taking a beating. So I haven't been able to really pump out as much content as I want to yet. But trust me, things are gonna get better as things progress here. So because I'm gonna be here for a while, I'm gonna be here for a good amount of time. So yeah, it'll be good. Um, Do you think Lemos can pull off the upset with the whole weight advantage over Keyshawn Davis? 1,000%. Even without the weight advantage, I thought he could pull the upset over Keyshawn Davis. He's a big puncher. He loops his shots a lot. Keyshawn, is susceptible to counter punchers. Lemos isn't necessarily a counter puncher, but with those looping shots he throws, if he's in a position and Keyshawn has a defensive lapse, it could spell trouble for him. But I think Keyshawn should win, you know. But it's yeah, it definitely helps him. Shout out to my man David Esther with the $4.99 super chat. He says, Ocelius Iglesias. My goodness. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch the Iglesias fight yet. I've heard about it. I heard he looked good. He looks like he sounds like he's becoming a real threat at 168. A lot of people are saying he's the new David Morrell Jr. He's kind of cut from that cloth of Cuban boxing. You know, a southpaw, heavy-handed, very offensive-minded, and that's good for the division because the division needs new talent. The division needs new guys to continue to rise up now that Benavidez isn't in the division anymore and things like that. So and Morrell isn't either. So good to see from him, and I'll check him out when I get a chance and do my video on Iglesias because I've had a chance to really go ahead and press into and talk about Iglesias the way I want to. So yeah, we'll talk about him here very shortly. But a lot of people are high on him. The one time I did see him was not this fight, but the last fight when he fought on the undercard of Christian and Billy versus Derevyanchenko, and he looked good at that fight. He looked really just devastating in that fight. So I'm pretty sure that's what he looked like in this fight with the way everyone's talking. Oh, by the way, guys, there's 9 of you here, and there was 12 of you earlier. Guys, don't be stingy. Help a brother out. Help a kid out, man. Smash that like button. All right. There's been like 15 of you guys here. I only got 3 likes. Come on, don't be stingy. I'm out here in Japan. I could be chilling in this beautiful bed, not doing anything, but I came here. I wanted to give you guys 2 hours of boxing talk. So just do me that small favor. Smash that like button so this video gets pushed out to more people on YouTube that don't, watch True School Sports yet. This will be the first of more lives to come in the future. All right? Yeah, like David says, hit the likes, you damn degenerates. Don't be that way. Anyway, back to the comments. All right? My man Jimbo, shout out to Jimbo. He says, it sounds like Kenshiro Taraji wants Seigo Yuri Okoye. How do you view that fight, assuming Taraji wins? What's next for him? I think he'd absolutely beats Seigo Yuri Okoye. He's a better fighter than Seigo Yuri Okoye. Better jab, better body puncher. Just if Seigo is to beat Kenshiro, it's just gonna be because he's a little bit bigger. Maybe he's more physically stronger, and he's gonna try to mow him down and push him back. But it's not many fighters around those weights I think can beat Kenshiro. Kenshiro is a special fighter. I want people to really start appreciating this man while he's here, because when I hear people talk about Japanese boxing, it's always Inoue, it's always Junto, but it's never Kenshiro. And I feel like it should be Kenshiro more because Kenshiro has been a dominant fighter for a long time. He's been one of boxing's most dominant fighters, and I'm going to keep banging the drum because fuck a pound-for-pound list. Forget about where you think he ranks pound-for-pound, or if you even think he ranks pound-for-pound. He's a Hall of Famer. He's above pound-for-pound. He's one of the best fighters in the world, point-blank, period. So, yeah, I think it'll be Seigo Yuri Okoye. I actually think that they're going to line up Kenshiro to probably fight the winner of Sonny Edwards versus Galalia Fai, and I think he beats both those guys too. I think the toughest guy out of Seigo, out of Sonny, and out of Galalia Fai, I think the toughest out of that bunch would give him a hard fight would be Galalia Fai, just because I think the boxing experience could offset some of the things Kenshiro would have to do, and he's got the size and things like that. But he's beating most guys at 108. I'm telling y'all straight, or 112. He's beating the majority at 112, just like that. There's no two ways about it. My man Gorgior says, the IBO champ, do you think the 5-belt era will come to fruition eventually? 1,000%. I believe that I definitely think that we'll get to a place in boxing where we have a 5-belt era, because first and foremost, the IBO title has been involved in too many significant fights. And generally speaking, as these belts start appearing in more and more important fights, they wind up being legitimized over time. So I think we will get a 5-belt era. I actually advised, funny enough, I advised Angelo Leo a couple of days after the Venado fight. We were sitting at a relative's house, and I had advised Angelo Leo to fight, I think it was Hector Sosa, for the IBO title, because later on down the line, when it does get recognized, people will look back and say, "Oh, he was champion," So I've been thinking that for a long time, and I think we'll get to that place sooner rather than later. You know what I'm saying? My man ENZO2EZ says, Enzo Too Easy. There you go. He says, I will be at the Boots card tomorrow. Okay, well, enjoy yourself, man. That's a good card. Philadelphia is a great fight town, and I'm glad that Eddie Hearn is bringing the fights back to Philadelphia and trying to build that value in Gerard Ennis. He needs to go ahead and like really put on a performance against Karen because I've been very adamant about it since last January when the fight happened. He looked very regular in that fight, and he needs to go ahead and really and truthfully have a sensational performance, because this division is not good. Like this division is not very talent heavy right now, and he needs to show a clear cut and separation between himself and the rest of the division because any failure to do that in any of these fights is gonna have people like myself who rate Boots Ennis highly questioning how good he really is. So he's gotta go ahead and he's gotta, you know, be sensational. You know, V Room says, I love your vids. Hand show boxing. Big up. Shout out to you, champ. Are you saying that you're hand show boxing or you're saying that you love his videos too? But either way, appreciate you, champ. I'm here for the boxing fans. I'm here for the sport. Um, Definitely, it's been a very wild year for your boy, BT. And these next 3 months, I promise you guys, are gonna be some of the most exciting months on this channel ever. So this Japan trip's gonna be longer than the last one, and it's gonna get better the longer I'm here. So just stay tuned, But thank you. Um, I wonder once, and David says, I wonder once Nunez beats Kakachi, will Hearn try to get Lee Wood to fight Nunez? I can't knock it though because Nunez would get paid well. I just want Nunez to get his shot, honestly. I don't give a damn if it's against Wood. I don't give a damn if it's Kakachi or whomever it is. I just want to see Sugar Nunez get his shot. You know, the super featherweight division, 130 pounds, it's been a very annoying weight class to follow because the two fighters I'm the biggest fans of in that weight class are Otar Aronosian and Eduardo Sugar Nunez. Otar Aronosian was a WBA mandatory last year when he knocked out Roger Gutierrez, and he's been kind of dicked around and shoved out the way. So now Albert Batier Gaziev, he's the mandatory, and Otar's been kind of frozen out in the cold, and he has been fighting, so I don't know what the deal is. I probably got to text Otar and ask him what's going on, but I wanted to see him get a title shot. And then Sugar Nunez, these guys have been ducking all smoke with him ever since he became relevant in this division. So it's a division that's pissing me off, honestly. I really don't like 130, I kind of hate the weight class right now, to be honest. Jimbo says, I appreciate you. I appreciate your take on Taraji and your respect for covering Japanese boxing. As a Japanese, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you covering our guys. And thank you so much, Jimbo. I appreciate the Japanese fighters for their contributions to boxing and their excellent conduct and just being true warriors of the sport. I appreciate the Japanese boxing fans like yourself that the English speaking Japanese fans that show support and show love. And every time I come to Japan, last time it was all love. This time it's been nothing but love, even more. So I can't even begin to put it into words. You guys have zero idea how happy I am to be back in Japan. I thought about this for a long time, and to be here, it's like it truly is one of the greatest feelings of my life. So thank you for your appreciation, and I hope that I can do the boxing fans proud in America and do the boxing fans proud of the state in Japan and the boxing fans around the world proud just being here covering boxing and getting content, So thank you. Shout out to my guy Raider. And David says Otar has been very inactive. He had a baby recently. That could be it. That could be it. You're right. He did have a baby recently because I actually tried to get Otar to be part of the training camp for Angel Leo versus Verdana Lopez. I texted him back in, I'm going to say it was late June, early July. I actually reached out to Otar myself, and I asked him to be part of camp for Angelo versus Venado. He respectfully declined, and one of the reasons he declined was because I think he said he was having a baby, and he had to be with his baby. So I respected his wishes, and obviously he knows I'm a big supporter of his. So yeah, you're right, 1,000%. I like 130. I just don't like the politics. I think there's a lot of good fighters at 130. I think in it's a weight class that's gonna get a little bit more talent heavy now. Raymond Ford's in the division now, so there's a lot of potential for 130. It's just that the guys that I think could really set this division on fire are being dicked around and screwed because they're not from the right country or they don't have enough of the Mexican backing yet. So that's kind of why I'm frustrated about it. It's probably one of the most balanced weight classes in terms of talent because there's not really any like one dominant guy. anybody can be anybody on any given night there. So I like that about the weight class. I just wish the division would be a bit more fluid and move faster. You know. Lord Zed says, BT, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Listen, man, it's good to be seen. It's good to be seen. It's good to be heard. It's good to be back in Japan. It's good to be just alive. It's great to be alive. I feel one thing about it is, guys, sometimes in life you go through periods of time where you don't even feel alive, and I think I had one of those periods recently, and being in Japan has really made me feel alive, and I'm happy to be alive. So good to be here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I'm gonna be here for not just a good time, but I will be here for a long time. I'm gonna be here for about 2 more hours. So it's 6:24 in Japan right now. I'm gonna go till 8:30 in Japan. So this is your guys' time. Y'all been asking for lives. Y'all been asking to go ahead and when you're gonna be live. This is gonna be a long, drawn out live. So make sure y'all smash that like button. Take the time to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Definitely super chat. That would definitely help me here in Japan. And yeah, all that good stuff. Even the guys on the way out of the door, like Navarrete and Valdez, are great for the sport. They are. Listen, Navarrete and Valdez, one thing they have done, where's my water at? Hold on. One thing Navarrete and Valdez have definitely been in their career is great for the sport. They've been excellent servants to the sport. They've been guys that have given the fans some great fights. Let me go to the other room. They've given the fans some great fights, and I'm very appreciative for what they've done for boxing. They got a plug here. Let me my charger. Yeah, I'm very appreciative for what they've done for boxing. But I just want to see Otar Erenosian, um, you know, Sugar Nunez. These are the fighters that I want to see get a shot at the damn title, because they've done things the honest way. They've done things the hard way, and they're not really getting the fair shake. Hold on, let me get set up here. I don't want to break this charger because this charger is a piece of shit. Hold on. I'll just move my phone starts dying. I'll put it right here. All right, give me 1 second, guys. It's cold. It's freaking cold in Japan. I gotta put a jacket on. Hold on. Give me a second. One thing about Japan they never tell you is it's fucking cold here. It can get pretty cold here. Hold on. My man Joe wants to know, how is the great Riddick Bowe? I haven't talked to Riddick. I haven't seen Riddick since December. I saw him last December at the WBA convention. I haven't seen him in person since then, but I talked to his friend named Jonathan, and he told me that Bowe is doing pretty good, and they're doing appearances and things like that. So, you know, he's in good health, and that's the important thing. I got a lot of love for Riddick Bowe. He's a great friend of the channel, and he's one of the reasons why I'm even at where I'm at today, and he's one of the reasons why I learned so much about boxing. So I will always love Riddick Bowe. He will always be my favorite #1 heavyweight, no matter what. And yeah, I'm just happy that he's alive and he's healthy. Do you think Turkey will invest in Junto Nakatani? Junto can be undisputed and help make a truly Super Bowl level fight in Japan with you know who. Right now, I think anybody who's affiliated with Top Rank, Matchroom, Golden Boy, Turkey is going to be willing to invest in any fighter that he sees value in, and there's definitely a lot of value in Junto Nakatani. So yes, I do see Turkey investing in Junto Nakatani. And as far as him doing the Inoue fight, I'll say it like this. If he's going to be at bantamweight, and I'm going to keep banging this drum, he needs to go see Seiya Tsutsumi. That's the fight I want to see. I'm not so sure he can beat Seiya Tsutsumi, even though Seiya Tsutsumi has went ahead and said that Junto used to beat him up in sparring. I think he's being humble. I think Seiya Tsutsumi is going to go in there and give Junto absolute hell. So I'm not even worried about Junto versus Inoue. If Junto's at 118, give me Junto versus Seiya Tsutsumi. David says, I think Oshagi Foster gets an unjustifiable rap as being a boring guy. You match him up with the right people, and he would be in an exciting fight. He already gave boxing fans one of the most exciting fights of the last couple of years with Eduardo Rocky Hernandez. So I don't think he has. It's not fair to call him a boring guy because that's just not who he is. A lot of his fights are close. A lot of his fights are competitive. You can't call Oshaki a boring guy. BT, what are your thoughts on MJ threatening to sue the WBA and in a way if the Sam Goodman fight goes ahead? He should sue himself. Mirja Akmadalia should file a lawsuit against himself because he put himself in this position with decisions in the past of, not doing what he was supposed to do, not fighting Stephen Ford for undisputed, not giving Danny Armando's rematch, not beating Marlon Tapales. He should sue his damn self. Didn't Shakur blow weight against Consenso almost the same amount as Limos? Nobody made a big deal about that before or after vacay. No, it wasn't the same. He missed the weight, but it wasn't by no damn 6 pounds. I don't remember exactly what the weight was, but it wasn't 6 pounds. So no, it's not the same. I would imagine Subriel Matias is gonna get an easy KO this Saturday. No, I don't know. I haven't looked too deeply into his opponent. He better get a KO for his sake. He better do something because people are writing him off now. They're saying that he's not good, that he was a bum, that he wasn't that great of a fighter. That they're trying to justify fighters like Richard Hitchens openly ducking Subriel Matias. They're trying to justify Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia and all these other fighters that didn't want to call his name. Ducking him because he lost to Liam Paro. And the funny thing is, a lot of those guys that I mentioned won't even fight Liam Paro because they're too busy on some bullshit. Sorry to bring it up, but are you as worried about Mike Tyson as I am? No, I'm not worried about Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson's a grown man that made the grown man decision to fight Jake Paul. So he made this decision fully knowing what could happen to him if something does happen to him. And it is what it is, I'm not going to be in America for it. I applied for a press pass. I think I'm going to get accepted, but it's not going to matter because I'm going to still be here in Japan. But we'll see how it goes. MJ is fighting a bum, isn't he? I forgot the guy's name he's fighting, but I wouldn't call him. I don't like calling fighters bums, but I'll just say it's someone that nobody's really intrigued about seeing him fight. He should be fighting somebody in the top 5. Like. The perfect fight for MJ, for me, would have been like him versus Elijah Pierce. I think Elijah Pierce versus MJ would have been 1,000% the perfect fight. Elijah Pierce is a solid, credible contender. He's looking for his type of fight. People want to know how good he is. Merjan still needs to do more in the eyes of most people to actually warrant getting a big fight against somebody like a Naya Inoue. So that's what I think. Do I think Boots can get the knockout tomorrow? Boots can 1,000% get the knockout tomorrow. It's just, is he going to cut the ring off? Is he going to be able to deal with some of the counter punches from Karen? Because one thing about Karen is Karen has good footwork. Karen understands positioning very well. And Karen did have his fair share of success in that last fight with Boots counter punching. A lot of people, I got so tired of talking about that fight because a lot of people, especially the ones from Philadelphia, they would start yapping their mouths, talking all this bullshit about Boots won 12-0, and Boots didn't win no damn 12. If you saying Boots beat Karen all 12 rounds, you are seriously just dick riding Jerron Ennis, and I like Jerron Ennis. I got a lot of love for Jerron Ennis. I got a lot of love for his dad Bozy. Love them. One of the best boxing families I've ever encountered in my life, but he didn't win 12 rounds. 9 rounds. I think he won 9 rounds. You can even make the argument for 10, but he didn't win. It wasn't a shutout. He had enough in that fight where if you're a future Jerron Ennis opponent, you could look at that fight and say, this is what he doesn't do well, and this is how I can capitalize. So that's what I think. But yeah, it's your boy BT, Brendan Taylor, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. It's good to be here. It's good to be live. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I'm coming to you guys live and direct from the Airbnb in Japan. Eventually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to buy one of these little pocket Wi-Fi things, but they're kind of pricey. I'm gonna get one of these pocket Wi-Fi things, and then when I actually start going out and about in Shibuya and all these places, I'll do like streaming. What do they call it? IRL, in real life streaming when I'm on the streets and stuff. But that probably won't be for like another week or so. So, stay tuned for that in the future. What do you think about this era of promotion versus promotion? What do I think about this era? Right now in boxing, there really isn't that era anymore. We're heading into a new era. You know, you could even go as far as to say we're heading into a new world order for boxing because um, Turki Al-Sheikh has effectively bought up most of boxing. Turki Al-Sheikh is working directly with the WBA and WBC. Turki Al-Sheikh has bought up Top Rank, Golden Boy, Matchroom, Boxer. Okay, so that's most of the power brokers in boxing. And now Turki Al-Sheikh has bought up Ring Magazine. So Turkey, Turkey's. I mean, it's crazy. Like people may not realize it, but we're seeing the formation of what could be a monopoly in boxing. And I made a video about this, but I haven't had a chance to put it out yet. So I'll talk about a little bit about it here. Like in Saudi Arabia, they don't have antitrust laws like we do here in America. And boxing's not a very organized sport from a business standpoint. So that's what's allowed Turkey to come in and do all this. So like now, you know, Turkey, because he has power of the Ring Magazine, he's gonna have power of the Ring Rankings. He has deep affiliation with two of the biggest sanctioning bodies in boxing. Any agenda, any fighter that they want to get a title, to get a big fight, they can now really manipulate the outcomes severely in whatever fighter they want's favor. I'm not saying they're gonna fix it. I'm saying they can manipulate the outcomes through rankings, through sanctioning bodies, through all kinds of things now. Because now Turkey has that much resources in terms of not just money and capital, but in terms of the politics of boxing, the proverbial chessboard of boxing politics. He has a lot of pieces on that chessboard. So um, I'm not sure how I feel about it. You know, I would like to sit here and be like real angry about it and say Turkey bad for boxing, but I have to be honest. A lot of the reasons why Turkey, a figure like him, could even exist in boxing is because our American promoters, like Bob Arum, like Al Heyman, like everyone in the, you know, everyone of the power brokers in boxing that weren't making fights for years and were killing the sport in America in particular. They created the environment for a guy like this to come in. So I can be mad at Turkey and point my finger and wag my finger at Saudi, but the reality is they created an environment for this to happen, and now they're bending down. And it's the funny thing is, right? These promoters like Top Rank, like Golden Boy, like Eddie Hearn, like Frank Warren, these guys didn't want to make fights with each other, right? And now they're having to make fights with each other, and they're doing it all under the umbrella of having to kiss the ring of Saudi, and kind of sell their dignity and sell their soul. So it's funny how they had to do what they didn't want to do anyway in the first place, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I just think boxing's gonna be in a weird state these next, not just year, but I'm talking about 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, because I don't think Saudi Arabia and Riyadh season is gonna last long term. I think it'll be a moment in time, an era in boxing, but I just think that eventually the Saudis are gonna pack their toys up and they're gonna go somewhere else, and they're gonna, you know, because their goal isn't to promote boxing. Their goal is to advertise their country, and boxing is a vehicle they use to do that, right? So eventually the money is gonna dry up, and these promoters are gonna have to eventually go back to doing what they were doing before, and they're gonna have to actually work with each other. And I think when that time comes, the boxing promotional market is gonna have to correct itself, and there's gonna be some lean years, but I'm hoping, you know, things do get better with time. But there's always good in boxing. There's always not so good in boxing. You gotta always be a half glass full type person when you watch this sport, when you're a fan of the sport, and in my case, when you cover the sport. So there's that. So where are we at pertaining to a fight with Jesus Ramos and Jamel? I haven't heard anything about it in a while. I haven't heard anything about it either. You know, I would like to fight. I think Jesus Ramos, I still view Jesus Ramos as an undefeated fighter. I think Jesus Ramos is still one of the best 154 pounders in boxing. I think Jesus Ramos deserves his chance to fight a big name like Jamel Charlo. And Jamel Charlo, he needs to get active again. So it'd be good if the fight could happen, but I haven't heard anything about it. Just being honest. Do people there like Steven Seagal? He was the first American with a dojo in Japan. I'm not sure. I never really pondered that. I never asked. I haven't really seen any Steven Seagal billboards anywhere. So when I talk to my Japanese translator, my Japanese friends, I will ask that question. I will ask them. I will say, hey, Do people in Japan like Steven Seagal? I like Steven Seagal. Which gyms? Which gyms are you going to in Japan? Which gyms are you for sure having dates with in Japan? So far, I've only made an appointment to speak to one fighter in Japan. It's gonna be not this week, but the following week. So right now, only one thing. That's the only gym. The fighter, by the way, and I don't want. I hate prematurely announcing things because I feel like when I prematurely announce anything, bad things happen, right? Um, but I got confirmation, and I'm still like ironing out the specific time. I have the date, but I'm ironing out the time. I'm supposed to be interviewing Seiya Tsutsumi on the 20th. So yeah, that'll be like in a week or so. That's the only guy I confirmed the interview with. Um, I can't remember the name of the gym, but the gym that Jin Sasaki trains out of, that gym follows me on Instagram, and I've been in contact with the gym owner for like over a year now, and he invited me to come to the gym and interview Jin Sasaki when he gets back. I think Jin Sasaki's supposed to get back to Japan on the 11th of December. He's fighting on the Inoue Goodman undercard, so maybe I'll get something with him. And then that same gym is having a show on the 19th, and I got invited to go to that show. And the gym owner is also working on getting me into this other club show on the 12th. So right now, as it stands, that's where we're at with the boxing content in Japan. That's what's going on. Just to be transparent, that's what's going on. I think Jesus Ramos would be the one guy who Bakram could hurt and Bakram can crack. That'd be a great fight. You know, I've been thinking a lot about Bakram Murdazaliev. He really put the boxing one on fire. That's a fight I never considered, and that's a damn good fight. If Jesus Ramos can get active and get in the win column, because I'm not sure he's fought since Luba. Maybe he has, but I would love that fight. He definitely has the durability to deal with Bakram's punching power. Thanks, man. I'm curious about the Seagal question. He rules. Yeah, Steven Seagal is pretty cool, man. My mom was a big fan of him back in the day. But yeah, make sure y'all smash that like button. It's your boy BT. Just getting in the boxing talk. If y'all want to talk boxing, y'all could ask me a boxing question. If y'all want to ask me a non-boxing question, feel free to go ahead and ask me a non-boxing question, and I'll answer those. You know we're all like family here on True School Sports, so yeah, for sure. Will you ask Ken to help step up a date with Inoue or at least with Ohashi? Will you ask Ken? Ken Shiro? Are you talking about Ken Shiro? I think that's what you're talking. Are you talking about Ken Shiro? I mean, I reached out to Ken Shiro a couple days ago, and he saw my message and never got back to me. So maybe I got an email. I don't know. I know in Japan everything here is like very formal. Everything is very by the book. Seagal is smarter than people think. It's cool as hell he lives in Japan and learn from the culture. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you could learn about life from just being here from Japan. I learned things about how to just go about my work and go about my business by Japanese culture. Like, people here are very disciplined. People here are very organized. When you, like, for example, like this little Airbnb I'm staying in, which by the way is very nice. It's probably the nicest place I've ever stayed at in Japan, because normally I always stay in those little like dorms where they have like, like you be here and there'd be a bed next to you. You can't really talk like I'm talking right now, but this is probably the nicest place I ever stayed in Japan. Just this little apartment, very minimal, very organized, a lot of space to think. I feel like the Japanese are very efficient. Efficiency, punctuality, discipline. These are like the pillars from what I've seen in not just Japanese culture, but Japanese fighters as well. So, yeah, I'm learning things every day here in Japan. Yes, the amazing boy. Yeah, no, I haven't reached out to Ken Shiro about setting up an Inoue interview, because I want to interview him. I don't even care about Inoue. I'd rather interview him. I'm a bigger fan of Ken Shiro than I am Inoue. Believe it or not. There is this one Puerto Rican guy who stopped Eduardo Baez. I forgot his name, but man, he looks impressive. You're talking about my boy Jonathan Lopez, who I interviewed here on True School Sports back on the when he fought on the undercard of Canelo versus Berlanga. I actually even he was an NOA sparring partner, and I even reached out to him to help me get in contact with Hideki Ohashi, but he hasn't gotten back to me yet. So, very talented fighter, good southpaw, a good range, understands his range very well, very disciplined. Has a future for sure in boxing. I know for a fact that what's his name? Jonathan Lopez. He sparred my boy Luis Hernandez from South Florida. You know, Luis Hernandez. He's like only had 25 amateur fights, 20 or 25 amateur fights. Just sparred Angelo Leo last week in Vegas, and you know he looked good in the sparring. You know, he held his own. You know, he did his thing. But Jonathan Lopez sparred him, and I've heard good things about Jonathan Lopez from Lewis. So yeah, somewhat very talented. What do you mean? No, not him. Jonathan. That's the only Jonathan I can think of that fought Eduardo Baez was Jonathan Lopez. He stopped him. Courtney DeMarco says, "When are you back in Las Vegas?" I don't know yet. I'm not thinking about none of that right now. I don't know. It's a good question. You could probably guess better than I can. Oh, Jan Santana, the Dominican, I believe. Yeah, I know Jan Santana. He was over there on Broadway Joel's channel, flapping his gums about Angelo Leo, like he could do something to Angelo Leo. Like, I know who Jan Santana is. Good fighter. You know, he's cool. I've heard good things about him. I've seen some clips, but you know, like Philip Hergovich says in the intro, you know, be careful what you wish for. How omnipresent is Shohei Ohtani in Japan, BT? Well, first of all, Shohei Ohtani is not Jesus. He is not God. He is not omnipresent. But to answer your question, Shohei Ohtani is a very big figure here in Japan. You can go to any part of the country, and you will see that there's billboards everywhere. There's billboards. There's he's in magazines everywhere. I mean, he's big. He's probably the most famous guy in the damn country. So he's everywhere. Courtney says, "This is Soda Pop." Shout out to my guy Soda Pop. Good to see you, man. And yeah, I don't know when I'll be back in Vegas, man. If I had to take an educated guess, like if a gun is held in my head and I got to guess when I'm coming back to Vegas, I'll probably say maybe late December, sometime after Christmas, but still within 2024. Maybe, I don't know, maybe early 2025 in January. I'm not sure. I'm kind of taking it one day at a time, but I don't know. But good to see you. I hope training is going well. Hopefully you get a fight soon and get things moving up with your career and stuff like that, and hope you're well and everyone around you as well. God bless. 704 Joe says, "What up? Enjoy Japan." Good to see 704 Joe as always in the chat, you know. And yeah, I'm definitely enjoying Japan. Thank you. One dude that looks pretty impressive too is Rohan Polanco. I think 140 is terrible right now. Yeah, Rohan Polanco is definitely one of the guys at 140 that I think, you know, every time I've seen him fight, he's left an impression with me. And I watch a lot of boxing, so a lot of times there's fighters that I don't think about unless they're fighting. And you know, he's one of those guys where now I'm like, okay, this guy, he's someone to watch out for. And I'm hoping Top Rank. I'm gonna give Top Rank and the fine folks at Top Rank a True School advisory tip, free, courtesy of True School Consultations, you know, LLC. If they were smart, if Top Rank was smart, they should go look at venues in the Washington Heights area of New York City, which is a very Dominican area. And they should look to do Rohan Polanco versus Elvis Rodriguez. Two Dominican 140 pounders who are in contention. Do them, right? Do them in a fight in probably like a smaller venue in Washington Heights, and start building up Dominican boxing and the Dominican boxing fan base in New York. It's an untapped market. Broadway Joel has talked about it on his channel when I was watching him a lot. Remember, he was talking about that a lot. That's what they could really do to build up their Dominican stars, you know? Let me see. Thank you, Soda Pop. I will. Do you think Inoue will invest that Saudi bag in international sparring partners to help grow his style? I don't think he needs Saudi money to invest in international sparring partners. He's gotten, in a way, he's gotten plenty of international sparring. He sparred Jonathan Lopez, who's from America. He sparred Jonathan Lopez. He sparred Aaron Alameda, who's Mexican. He's gotten plenty of international sparring. So I don't think he needs the Saudi money for international sparring. I think it's just for whatever he wants. It's just look, boxing's a hard business. If you could make $20 million just by being an ambassador of a brand, why not? From a fighter standpoint, it makes sense. It's a hard sport. It's hard to make a dollar. So if you can make 20 million, damn near $20 million, why not? I'm not saying there's no good fighters on the come up. BT 140 just has a bunch of hyped up gatekeepers. Oh, there's plenty of good fighters at 140 coming up. Ray Earl, what's good, champ? How you living? Try the green tea and the strawberry Kit Kats at 7-Eleven. I've had the strawberry and I've had the banana Kit Kats at 7-Eleven, and I can report to you that they're both very good. What I need to do is I actually need to stop going to 7-Eleven. I need to stop going to Family Mart. I need to go get some real food. Where are you in Japan? I'm in Tokyo. Which I know that's pretty big because Tokyo is massive. But yeah, I'm in Tokyo. BT, are there any fights tonight? Any fights tonight and this weekend you think will be an upset? Any fights where I think there could be an upset? That's a good question. Let me see. I think Boots beat Karen. I think what are the other fights? We got Boots, Karen, and then you got what's the other fight? Top Rank is what? Who's fighting on Top Rank? Probably Keyshawn Lemos. Maybe Lemos. I would say Lemos. You know what? I'll say this. I would say if I had to predict an upset, I don't like predicting upsets against this guy because I predicted against him earlier in this year and it didn't go well for me. But I'm not really too I think he should win. So I'm gonna say this guy wins the fight, but it wouldn't shock me if he lost. I'm gonna say Raymond Ford versus Orlando Gonzalez. Raymond Ford should beat Orlando Gonzalez because he's bigger and stronger, but Cabo Gonzalez is a very good fighter. As far as his technique wise, a lot of amateur experience. He's a southpaw as well, so he could offset some things Raymond Ford does. I'm leaning towards Raymond Ford in that fight because I think he'll be too big and too strong for Capo in the end. But that's the fight where I will put Raymond Ford on a mild upset alert, And I'm not even sure what the odds are, so y'all could probably tell me my betting viewers out there. You can tell me what the odds are for that fight, but I'm sure he's the favorite. I don't know much about the guy Tito Mercado was fighting on the Boots undercard. I'm not even sure, bro. Honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I've been so locked into Japan that and just getting things right here that I can't even remember a lot of things about boxing right now. As far as I'm not even sure who is Tito Mercado even fighting. I'm not even sure. I'm just happy that Tito Mercado is fighting at all on a good platform because Mercado was a guy that was knocking dudes out, looking really good, and just wasn't signed to nobody. So it's good that he's signed now. It's good that people are gonna know who he is, and now it's his chance to really make noise in his career. Do I like John Riel Casimiro? I do like John Riel Casimiro. I actually met John Riel Casimiro in 2020 and interviewed him when he was training in Miami. Good guy, definitely entertaining, fun style to watch. Always in good fights, so I can't say anything bad about Casimiro. What's my favorite Japanese food? That's a good question. My favorite Japanese food is there's this Japanese, I don't know what it's called, but they had when I was here last time, they had this Japanese pork roast. I liked that a lot. The Wagyu burgers here in Japan are fire. Like those a lot. So I would probably say those two things. I'm not really a big sushi guy, but I would say Japanese pork roast and the Wagyu burgers. Those are top of the list. What do you hope in your boxing networking after this Japan trip? I feel that having a network with Mr. Honda would be a major step in your boxing career, BT. Really and truthfully, boxing wise, I would like to I would like to definitely go to some gyms I never gone to, and I definitely am going to cover and be at some Japanese boxing shows because when I was here last time, I didn't get a chance to go to Japanese boxing cards. So just experiencing Japanese boxing and getting familiar with the environment, that's what I want to accomplish from a boxing standpoint. It's not my main goal. My main goal is to come out here to Japan to recharge and refresh and kind of just like get back to feeling like myself because the last 4 months of my life have been very very trying times, very very tough times in my life, but not terrible times, but just challenging times when you move from one part of America to another part of America to chase a boxing career, and then you don't really have a boxing media career, and then you don't really have family with you, like your blood family with you. You can feel alone at times, so it's been difficult. But the time so far here in Japan has been exceptional. I can't complain at all. But from a boxing standpoint, yeah, I just to experience Japanese boxing, like the actual shows, the environment, I'm not like holding my breath on Inoue because I know how hard it is to do anything with him here in Japan. But I have reached out to so many people. It's not even funny. Like I'm not even trying to cover his fight. I don't even care if I interview him. I want to just go to Ohashi Gym when he has his media workout. If I can just go to the media workout, that's good enough for me. I don't need to interview him. I don't need to cover the fight. That would be more than good enough for me. Raymond Ford is a minus 1600 and Orlando is a plus 700. I like those odds. I would take that bet. I would take that bet. I'm not a betting man, but Ford will probably win because he's too big and he's too strong for Capo. But Capo can really box his ass off. So we'll see. We'll see how Ford does at 130. I'm not, you never know how a fighter's going to be when they move up in weight. You see, like Raymond Ford at 130 or 126. 126 at featherweight. He had an advantage over a lot of guys because he was, and I didn't realize this, he was very big for that weight class, very wide for that weight class. He's not going to have that as much at 130, so he's going to actually have to, rely a bit more on his boxing skills. And to be honest, like, I got a lot of love for Raymond Ford, but in the Odebek Komatov fight, my prediction that I got wrong was I picked Komatov by decision, which a lot of people weren't picking Komatov by decision. He was getting outboxed that fight. He was on his way to losing by decision. So he's a good boxer. He was a national Golden Gloves champion, but I don't think he's the technical fighter that a lot of people think he is. I think there's still things technical-wise he needs to sharpen up, and if he doesn't sharpen up on those things, I think that it could be tough sledding at 130 for him. But he's a very talented fighter. He's a world champion. He's a quality fighter, and I think he's a great addition to the weight class. Let me see. Shout out to Jarul. He says, will you make it out to Osaka? As of right now, there's no formal plans for me to go to Osaka. I have an itinerary of things I'm going to be doing, but Osaka is not in the plans yet. But boxing, like life, it's very fluid, and things can always change. So if there's a reason for me to go to Osaka, I will be in Osaka. But as of right now, I'm not going to Osaka. But I love Osaka. I went there last time. I had a great time in Osaka. It's a very lively place with a lot of culture and life. So I loved it. I loved it. It's arguably my favorite city in Japan. Do you think people might be overrated Williams Zepeda? He keeps fighting guys who can't punch and could have stopped Jojo Diaz. I can see Tevin Farmer giving him issues. I think Williams Zepeda is overrated. I think people are ridiculously out of their minds thinking that he's going to beat Shakur Stevenson because he can throw a lot of punches. They're simple. Now, I'm not saying he can't beat Shakur Stevenson. Like, if he can get his punches off and he can throw his normal 900 to 1,000 punches, then of course he has a chance against Shakur Stevenson. But when you're talking about a fighter like Shakur Stevenson, a master of distance like he is, that can slow the pace down, he has a way of taking volume punchers. Fighters like him, like Shakur, like Floyd Mayweather, these kind of fighters can fight volume punchers like a Williams Zepeda and just cut their punch output in half. So I think people are overrating Williams Zepeda. I think he's been matched perfectly with feather-fisted guys like Maxie Hughes and Tevin Farmer and Giovanni Cabrera, who can't punch their way out of a wet paper bag. I mean, those guys, no disrespect to them, but those guys are so feather-fisted they couldn't even put a dent in this water bottle. So I'm not going crazy over how they're fighting against those guys. I think Shakur Stevenson is going to outclass Williams Zepeda when they fight. I think he's in a 117, 111 Williams Zepeda, and I'm so confident about it that I've already made ahead. I've already went ahead and made a bet with my barber. I have a barber in Vegas up the street from me, and he thinks Williams Pitta's gonna beat what you would call it, Shakur Stevenson. So we bet money. We bet. If I win the bet, he gives me a free haircut. If he loses the bet, I'll pay him double of what my haircut costs. So Shakur Stevenson, I swear on my life, if you lose this fight, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm going crazy like never before because I'm not trying to pay too extra money for this haircut. You know. Boxing News 24, the side with the black and gold, is hyping up Zepeda to the gills and making him out to be this devastating puncher. Well, no, he's not a devastating puncher. He's a volume puncher that breaks you down. And Golden Boy has put the right guys in front of him to make him look like he is a devastating puncher. You know, we'll see how devastating he is when Shakur Stevenson is in front of him. And I'll tell you guys like this: I've seen Shakur Stevenson spar before, so I have an idea of how he can fight in the pocket. He can fight in the pocket. It's just that these guys aren't good enough to make him fight in the pocket. But if Zepeda is good enough to make him do that, he's gonna be in for a rude awakening. Shakur gonna beat him easy. PBC is back in February. Boxing is dead. I thought that 118-11 scorecard for Donald Trump. Yeah, shout out to my man Hyro. Hyro was urging me to do a post-fight review video for Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. You know, that made a lot of waves in the world and in the States as well. You know, listen, people have their opinions. Some people are left, some people are right. Listen, it's important that as Americans, you know, we wish the best for our president, whether we agree with who they are or not, because we gotta want what's best for the country. So, congratulations to Donald Trump, our 47th president of the United States. I'm not a Shakur fanboy, but he's gonna beat Zepeda. Of course, he's gonna beat Zepeda pretty clearly too. It's not gonna be this ridiculously tough fight that people think. I think he's gonna beat him. He said, how long? What do you mean how long, Kyoto? Like, how long am I going to be in Japan? Val says, can you describe in detail what is the difference in their training methods in comparison? God bless BT. I'm still learning about Japanese training methods. You know, last time I came here, I went to Misako Boxing Gym. I went to Hatanaka Boxing Gym. I went to Shisei Boxing Gym and got kicked out. I went to B&B Boxing. So last time I was here, I only went to 4 boxing gyms. And from what I can say about the Japanese style of training, and I'm still learning about it, is they're more concentrated on like their explosiveness than a lot of places I've seen. Like even when I watched the little kids train at Ohashi Boxing Gym, they seem to really focus on developing that explosiveness from the lower half and making their first step to close the gap as quick as possible. That's what I noticed. That's really all I can give you right now. I'm still learning myself. So I did a whole video on it though. So whatever I said in that video, just go look it up. One thing Williams Pitta did was stop Cabrera though, and Pitbull Cruz had a hard time with him because Cruz is a hype job in his own right. I think it's a bit of both. I think Pitbull Cruz is a bit of a hype job, but I also think Giovanni Cabrera is a better fighter than people give him credit for. You know, Cabrera has wins against guys like Rene Talise-Garon. He beat Elijah Pierce. He's got a good resume. He's got a very underrated resume. So yeah, Pitbull Cruz was a hype job, and he was never no Mexican Mike Tyson, but Giovanni Cabrera is also better than people give him credit for, you know? Shakur might get robbed. You never know. Well, it's true. American fighters don't get decisions in Saudi. No American fighter has ever won in Saudi. So Shakur's handlers don't believe in him like you all. They're thinking about giving Shakur another tune-up before the fight. That's just smart management. If I was Shakur's handler and he was coming off of a hand injury, and I wouldn't let him fight Zepeda. I would. It's smart to go take a 2-1 fight before you fight a guy who throws 1,000 punches and there's this Mexican that's gonna come forward at you for 12 rounds. That's just smart management. Do you think this year was a bad year for Shakur in terms of rising his star power and arguably his ratings on the pound rankings? Yeah. I mean, he didn't really do anything this year worth talking about except tweet. So yes. In short, yes, it was a bad year. Is there any NFL stuff in Japan, or are they not interested? I'm just wondering. Now, I haven't really seen like an NFL store, but I know like in some of the urban shops, like clothing stores I like to go to, I've seen NFL jerseys. When I was in Osaka last year, I'll never forget it. One of the first things I saw in Osaka, there was this one Japanese dude. He looked like he was in a time machine. Like he just came from 2004. Like he had these jean shorts. I think they were like Fubu or Shanjan jean shorts. He had a black Atlanta Falcons number 7 Michael Vick jersey. This man had a white do-rag on. He had a baseball cap and he had Air Force Ones. I swear to God, I thought I was in 2004. But other than that one time, I mean, not really. I mean, I when I was on the train, when you go on the trains, they have the news on the train. So like you can get the sports news on the train. And I saw they had like an NFL thing in the sports news. So that was that's about it. That's as much NFL stuff as I've seen, in Japan. PBC got left behind in getting that Saudi back. Can you give your thoughts on PBC's place in the boxing business today? Yeah, of course. PBC's in a very precarious position because, they haven't really had too many dates this year, which leads myself and many people to believe that they are lacking the capital to put on consistent boxing shows. Factor in Al Heyman hasn't been well from a health standpoint. Like he's had some sickness in his, since last year and that he's been dealing with. So he hasn't really been active in the company's day-to-day operations. Tim Zhu is a fighter that they invested a lot of money into, or not money so much, but as far as resources, as far as actually marketing him, they put more into him than most fighters they have on the roster. He's lost 2 times this year. So PBC, a lot of their stars have aged out. They haven't really put any money into developing their own younger fighters. There's not really anybody on the come up that they have. And the fighters that they do have under Al Heyman, they're not really fighting and getting the investment and exposure that they need. So I think PBC has been put in a place now in the boxing market where unfortunately they're getting boxed out by the Saudis, because the Saudis have bought up all the competitors. All the competitors are going to be under one roof. So Batroom, Top Rank, Golden Boy, all under one roof. And now you're in a position where I think their biggest asset, which is Canelo Alvarez, Canelo is going to go ahead and Canelo is probably going to go ahead next year and fight Terrence Crawford. So the biggest fight they can make is going to involve having to deal directly with the Saudis. And I just think with all that going on, PBC's not in a good place. But I really, truthfully, I'm not no PBC fanboy, but I am a proud American. I love my country, and I would like boxing in America to be well. So I hope PBC has some plans to make boxing in America great again, make boxing in America strong again, because it ain't too good right now. I'll tell you guys this: when I went and I covered the Golden Boy show, for Renee Telly's girl and Floyd Schofield, I enjoyed myself, but it didn't really feel like I was at a major boxing event. It didn't. It did not feel like I was at a major boxing event. They didn't even give the media a nice laminated credential. They gave us these dinosaur wristbands, and that was our credential. Which I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying I'm seeing more and more boxing in the States is just being half-assed by everyone. So PBC is the last of the Mohicans. They are the last boxing promotional company that hasn't bent the knee to the Saudis, and I hope they start putting on the best boxing shows possible. What's up with Virgil Ortiz? We keep hearing rumors that he might fight Thurman or Boots. I don't know, man. Virgil Ortiz, I'm tired of his. I'm just tired. I would like to see him do something. I mean, he fought Boachuk, and I thought he lost. So they should. If he's not going to be fighting the Boachuk rematch anytime soon, they got to do something with him, because, his career was stalled off for a long time because of his conditions, health wise, and overtraining, and then he fought Boachuk, and I thought he lost, and he has to do something. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't know. I want to see him fight Boots, but that's not gonna happen. So there's no sense in even going ahead and losing sleep over that one. But Shout out to everybody here. It's your boy BT, Brendan Taylor, the untouchable True School Sports Empire, live coming to you guys live and direct from Japan, back in the land of the rising sun for the second time in my life. I gotta check out this Airbnb like in a couple hours, so I'm doing this live. We're making it 2 hours, all right? A 2 hour live stream here on True School Sports. We have just completed the first hour, so I'll be here for 1 hour more, and then I gotta dip after this live is done. So get your questions in, boxing related. You know, make sure you smash that like button. There's 27 of you guys here. I only got 21 likes, so don't be stingy. Make sure you smash the like button so this live gets pushed out to as many people as humanly possible. If you're watching the playback, smash the like button, all that good stuff. Cause I'm taking the time to talk to you guys. A lot of you guys been complaining about they're not being live, so I'm going live. And definitely super chat. Shout out to my boy, the coach, Bobby McCroy, one of the top young coaches in boxing. He says, "What's up on Pro Box TV tomorrow? What's up? Pro Box TV is tomorrow. Rice is back on ESPN. True School Sports, yes, True School Sports, Noble Art Training. Shout out to Bobby McCroy. Make sure you guys go check out Bobby, his fighters. He's got John Mindoro, the Filipino. He's got he helps out Kamal Moten as well. He's got Kamari Burnside, his cousin. He's got all kinds of young fighters, you know. And yes, Rice Halim is back. It's good to see the Beast back in action. It's been too long, to be honest with you, and hopefully he can go ahead and get some momentum in his career. Hyro says, "Can I have your thoughts on Eddie Hearn having a terrible year? It seems like Eddie Hearn is downsizing with Frank Warren. Eddie ain't the lead Saudi promoter. I've been telling you about Eddie Hearn. You have, Hyro. One thing about Hyro, guys, you got to give Hyro his credit. He hates Eddie Hearn, and he's always told everyone that Eddie Hearn is not a good promoter. You know, I'm not saying that. I like Eddie Hearn, but he don't like Eddie Hearn. And as far as him downsizing, I feel like everyone is downsizing to a degree. Saudi's putting everything under one umbrella. Saudi is basically creating they're trying to create a monopoly, a one world government of boxing. They bought up Ring Magazine. They have a direct affiliation with the WBC and WBA, and now now Frank Warren's joining them. So it's like literally you guys remember the NWO and wrestling with Hulk Hogan and Sting and all them? That's Saudi Arabia in boxing right now. Like everyone was joining Hulk Hogan. Like everyone from WCW was joining Hulk Hogan and Razor Ramon and Kevin Nash and all these guys. That's what Saudi is in boxing right now. True School Sports, Jeffrey the Pig, he says, Ola Squaga says he has fight news soon. Who are you thinking? If I would hope the Ken Shiro rematch. I think the Ken Shiro rematch is one of the most interesting fights that could be made in the division. I think the Ken Shiro rematch is one of the best fights that could be made in boxing because it was one of the best fights in boxing in 2023. So I would guess and say that they're both in the same weight class. They're both champions. That fight would do good numbers in Japan. Like I think it does good numbers and good viewership in Japan. So I'll say that one. Shout out to my guy, Fight Sport Talk with the super chat from New Zealand. He says, "Big up, bro. Tyson looks really scared of Alexander Usyk." You think so? Everyone keeps saying he's scared of Alexander Usyk. I don't think he's scared of Alexander Usyk. I just think he fully understands now what type of challenge this is. And he knows that he has to be at his absolute A++ game to beat him. But you know what? Like I said in my video about this fight, I think Usyk also has to replicate that same performance again against Tyson Fury. And that's going to be very hard. Just being honest, it was a very upper echelon performance from Usyk. And it's hard to have that same kind of performance twice. And Fury had his fair share of success. Fury, even though he almost got knocked out a couple of times, Tyson Fury was definitely in that fight. He was definitely winning that fight. At least in the middle. I'm not writing Tyson Fury off. I think Tyson Fury performs better when people don't think he's gonna win, and a lot of people don't think he's gonna win this fight. And history has shown us in the past, with Klitschko, with the first Wilder fight, even with the second Wilder fight, he performs better when people don't think he's going to win. and I just think that that bodes well for him. I think he's also a prideful man. He wants to be able to you know avenge that loss and say that he beat everybody he ever fought in the ring. The same way Lennox Lewis did when he avenged his losses to guys like Rockman and McCall and these types of fighters. So I'm not writing Fury off at all. BT, will you be watching the return of Matias? I don't feel bad for Matias because from the moment he signed Eddie Hearn, his career was over. You did say that, and funny enough, here we are. He's fighting on a random app somewhere on pay-per-view. I probably won't watch it just because I don't even know what time he's fighting at, and my time zones are all fucked up because I'm in Vegas on Pacific time. Japan is like a whole different thing, so I don't even know what time he's fighting. I'm not even sure what time Keyshawn Davis is fighting today. I know it's probably coming up in a couple of hours, but I don't know the exact time. So I'll catch it when I catch it and do my video. Ken Shiro versus Sonny Edwards. Who do I think wins the matchup? Oh, it's a good fight. Sonny Edwards has to beat Galal Yafai because they're fighting for the WBC interim title, so the winner of that fight will become the mandatory challenger for Ken Shiro. I think Ken Shiro beats Sonny Edwards. I think Sonny Edwards, I think Ken Shiro will eventually close the gap and start landing that right hand and that left hook to the body and probably break him down. But it's a great fight. I know Sonny Edwards has expressed a big desire to come here to Japan and fight. So, if Sonny can handle Galal Yafai and beat him, then look for that fight to happen next. Boachuk has shaky durability. He's been knocked out, and even Brian Mendoza hurt him. What do you mean even Brian Mendoza hurt him? Brian Mendoza is one of the biggest punchers in this damn weight class. Brian Mendoza sent Sebastian Fundora to the gulag. Did you forget about that? I think Boachuk, yeah, he is. You could say he does have some shaky durability, but he's fighting top fighters all the time. Virgil, Brandon Adams, Mendoza. He's not a guy that's cherry picking fighters, so I'm not gonna fault him. But yeah, I would like to see Boachuk fight Virgil again. That's the rematch we need in boxing. Fast Eddie ain't going nowhere. Freeze Temperature says that. Yeah, I don't think he is. I like Eddie Hearn. I think Eddie Hearn is good for boxing. Do I plan on going sightseeing on Mount Fiji? Maybe not Mount Fiji, but I'm definitely gonna go hiking. I'm definitely gonna go to some mountains because I have a friend here in Japan who lives out in the mountains, and I'm gonna go see him at some point. So I'm not even sure what mountains he lives near. I just know it's way out in the country somewhere. So I'll be doing that at some point. What do you think about Inoue signing the $25 million endorsement? I made a video about it. I think it's good for him. He's still gonna be able to fight in Japan. Like, he's not contracted to fight in Saudi Arabia. I think it's just a sign of the times where we're at in boxing. Like, a lot of these fighters that are on the pound for pound list, the top fighters, are working with the Saudis, and I just think it's another step in Saudi Arabia trying to take over the sport and have it in a Cobra clutch. So that's how I view it. Are there jobs for American boxing trainers over there if they come with good references? That's a good question. I don't know. I could ask. I have a friend I have a Japanese friend who lives in the States who trains fighters in LA. I could probably ask him and see what he tells me. But I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's gotta be some Japanese gyms that would love to have American coaches and give like a different insight into how training works and things like that. I'm sure there is somewhere in this big country. Eddie was foolish to put all his energy into AJ and neglect the rest of the division. Aside from that, he has had some real bad luck. He has. The only fighter that gave him any real good luck was Raymond Ford when he beat Komatov. And that was an accident because he didn't even believe Raymond Ford. That's why he didn't win the purse bid. But then Raymond Ford came back and he immediately lost to Nick Ball. So, yeah, he's had a tough year. It's been a really tough sledding for Eddie Hearn. But you know what? I can't get mad at Eddie Hearn because you know what Eddie Hearn does consistently, for better or for worse? He puts his fighters in real fights. He puts his fighters in real tough fights. And, boxing fans like to slag him off and criticize him and demean him. But you know what? Eddie Hearn fighters, traditionally speaking, do get matched tough. They do get put in the big fights. And he's not scared to put his fighters in tough and lose. So I've always respected that aspect of him. Do you think Inoue will have the most talked about fight of the year with him and Neri? I feel like our major fights this year, Inoue has the most memorable fight. Are you talking about specifically just Japan or boxing? Because for me, um, that probably the most talked about, one of the most talked about fights in Japan. But I don't know about for the whole year. That's just my opinion. Shout out to my boy B Young with the $1.99 super chat. I hope all is well, B Young. And yes, I am in Japan. It is good to see you. It is good to be around the fine folks of the land of the rising sun. And yeah, it literally, like, Japan literally has become like a third home for me. You know, my residence now is in Las Vegas. But my where I grew up is my home, South Florida. You know, Miami, Broward County area, Dania Beach to be specific, Homestead to be specific. That's my home. That's places I grew up in. But you know, Vegas has become like my second home. And now, like, Japan can slot right into that. Japan's like my third home, so it's good to be home. I gotta learn more Japanese. Let me see. Shout out to everybody here, by the way. All 31 of you guys here. Guys, do me a favor. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know where you guys are watching from, what city, what state, what continent, all that stuff. I want to see how international we are on this live. You know, we're an hour and 11 minutes in, so we still got like 15 minutes left. So get your questions in. Trying to see what my battery looks like. My battery's pretty good. So, where's that one comment? So Rob Calico says, "Pretty boy, true. We need a stream live." Pretty boy, true. You're funny. We need a stream live from Japan's red light district. Don't think we don't know that you got a Japanese wifey acting like you're there solely for boxing. Nah, man. I'll say this though. I'll say this. People were asking me a lot when I came back from Japan the first time last year. They said, "BT, how are the women in Japan?" And my answer was, women in Japan, there's beautiful Japanese women, but there really wasn't like my type in Japan, right? Girls that I like my girls a little thicker, But this time around, I apologize. I don't know what I was talking about, because this time around I've been seeing hella beautiful Japanese women. So I don't know what I was looking at last time, or I don't know if I was just so locked in on boxing, but yeah, a lot of beautiful women. There's a lot of beautiful women in this country. And the funny thing is, the other day I was in Shibuya and I was trying to look for this bar. And while I was looking for this bar, there was this radio station. It was called Shibuya Crossing FM. I think that was the name of the radio station. And like, they had this plexiglass, so you could be walking the streets, and they had these people podcasting right there, and you could see into the plexiglass, and they had the little TV on the outside so you can see how it looks on the broadcast. And they were interviewing some Asian actress girl, and I swear on my life, she was beautiful. She was bad. She was really attractive, and I let her know. I flashed the heart sign. She was feeling the kid. But yeah, a lot of beautiful Japanese women. I don't have a Japanese wife. In fact, if I had a wife, she's probably Mexican or Mexican American. I know Mendoza can crack, but he's so limited and inconsistent. He's definitely inconsistent. And I think the only reason he's limited is because I think, and this is my opinion, I'm a Brian Mendoza fan. But Brian Mendoza, I think, with the way Salas trains him, like he does all this Cuban boxing shit and being all like real technically sound. I feel like Brian Mendoza doesn't fight to his strengths. His strength is his punching power. And with the way Salas trains him, it's not geared towards pulling that punching power out of him. So I would like to see Brian switch trainers and get with a trainer that actually emphasizes him punching through the target. Because I think he'd be better suited to win these fights if he was, with a trainer who focuses more on, power punching and not being so like trying to box like a Cuban. Even though he is Cuban, like he's got real punching power, and I feel like that should be exploited to his advantage a lot more. And it hasn't really been the case recently. How long have you been in Japan? Are you going to watch the fights on ESPN and ProBox TV tonight? I'm probably gonna miss the fights tonight because I'm gonna be. Uh, I'm not even sure what I'm doing the rest of today, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna miss them, and I've been in Japan for about not like 4 or 5 days, so it's been good. Have I played the Undisputed boxing game? Yes, I have. I played it during Canelo Berlanga fight week because Undisputed had an event and I got invited and I went. I enjoyed it. I like the game. It's a very realistic boxing simulation. So if you're somebody that likes to press the same buttons over and over again and be a quote unquote button masher, then it's not the game for you. You're gonna punch. You're gonna punch yourself out. Your fighters are not going to are gonna run out of stamina and you're gonna lose the fight. It's very much like a realistic fight. So you gotta know you gotta really know boxing to play that game. Shout out to Toledo. Okay, by way of Detroit, Ohio in the building, Indianapolis is in the building. Do you think boxing will ever have another person who's worth $100 billion to invest in the sport, or is this once in a time in history? No. If you look at the history of boxing in the last 30 to 40 years, there's always been somebody that's willing to splurge a lot of cash. So like, you know, back in the 70s or the 80s, you had that black dude, Harold Smith. If you guys don't know who Harold Smith is, Harold Smith was like, he was like Al Heyman before Al Heyman. He tried to create a monopoly, I think it was in the 70s, the 80s, but it didn't work out. So you had him with a lot of money. You had Don King with a lot of money. You had PBC with Waddell and Reed. There's always rich people in business and in the world. Donald Trump goes even in boxing. There's always rich, influential, affluent people that are always trying to, get involved in boxing because they feel like because they have business sense, that their business sense translates to the boxing business, which couldn't be anything further from the truth because the boxing business is the wild, wild west. Anything you learn in the conventional business has to go out the window to function in this really fucked up red light district of sports, So with that being said, I don't know if there'll be someone like as wealthy as the Saudis that come into boxing, but there will always be wealthy people that come into boxing, if that makes sense. Did Tank Davis really fire Calvin Ford, or was that fake news? I have heard nothing about that, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that's probably fake news. But you know what? Happy belated birthday to Tank. I know Tank. I know Gervonta Davis went ahead and it was his 30th birthday yesterday, so he's 30 years old now. And some people will say he's 30 years old and he still hasn't fought nobody. So happy belated birthday to Gervonta Davis. Are you gonna go to the New Japan Pro Wrestling at Korakuen Hall? Harold wants to know. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm probably not gonna go to New Japan Pro Wrestling at Korakuen Hall. I'll probably go to like the boxing. I'll go to the boxing matches at Korakuen Hall before I go to New Japan Wrestling. But if I have enough time, why not? BT, why don't you like Laura? He's the only middleweight champion that acts like men, not like Johnny Beck and Carl Sadamas. I've just never really been a big fan of Laura. I've always thought Laura was overrated. He gets too much credit for losing to Canelo. He gets too much credit for not really doing anything much outside of losing to Canelo. And he's also he's like Danny Garcia. He's just like Danny Garcia. And that's why it was so funny that they fought each other. There were two fighters that were resting on their laurels. That got a lot of money from PBC back in the early days to fight fights that were not worth the money they were getting paid, and they put on one of the worst fights of 2024. So it was very fitting, I don't hate Lara. I'm just kind of indifferent towards him. Like he's there, he's a good fighter. He's got talent, but I'm not like I don't hate the guy, but he's not all that. I was stationed in Okinawa back in 1998. Shout out to Okinawa. I've never been to Okinawa, but I've heard Okinawa has like beaches and things like that. So I've always wanted to go to Okinawa to check out the beach because I heard they have like one of the best beaches in Japan, or they have a beach in Japan in Okinawa. They're saying Derek James is his trainer. So you're saying that Tank knocked out a Derek James fighter and then started training with Derek James? That sounds very boxing. So it sounds believable, but I haven't seen or heard anything about it. So right now, I'll probably say it's fake news. Did I hire a translator during my time? I didn't hire a translator for like right now. I'm not going to any gym, so I'm just chilling. I'm just walking around, so I can handle day-to-day life in Japan without a translator. But for when I go to the gyms, like when I go to do these interviews, yeah, I have translators. What did you think of Fernando Puma Martinez being stripped of the IBF belt? I heard about it. I didn't get a chance to read about it too much because um I didn't get a chance to read about it. But does that mean he's not gonna fight at 115 anymore, or does that mean he's going to 118? Because I know Gaio Estrada's going to 118. Is he still gonna fight Ioka? Because I haven't heard anything about that. I feel a major problem in boxing is the promotion of the world titles. Imagine if everyone knows these titles like the Grand Slam of tennis. Yeah, like for me, I wish boxing had an annual tournament. Like I'm not against the four belts. I think the four belts. I think the four belt scenario is fine. But I think that boxing would be better suited if we had at least if not a yearly tournament, maybe like a bi-yearly tournament. So like imagine in boxing if we had every 2 years a big tournament for undisputed. Like so, like for example, if a guy became like, just for example, I'll use my friend as an example. So like Angelo Leo just won the IBF title, right? So imagine if every champion had a year to fight whoever they wanted to fight. You could fight whoever you want in the top 15 of the rankings. You could do 2 fights, 3 fights, however many fights you want a year, right? But the rule would be the following year, you are automatically entered into a tournament to see who the best fighter in the weight class is. And whatever that tournament is, I feel like boxing would be great if they could just pump all their marketing dollars into that bi-yearly tournament, and then that would raise awareness outside of boxing, and then you could have, some people who actually understand the magnitude of who's who in boxing. Because let's be real, to the average person on the street that doesn't watch boxing, they don't know the difference between the IBF belt, the IBO belt, the raspberry belt. They don't know the difference between these belts. So there needs to be some sort of trophy and or tournament that a fighter can be in, at least yearly or bi-yearly, or where they can, actually prove who was the best, and people outside of boxing understand that this is the guy. I wish that would happen. Lara lost to Castaño and got a gift, but I do think he's a good fighter. He looks dangerous. I just wish he would fight better guys. Exactly, and he had a chance to fight better guys like 8 years ago, but he was too busy fighting, Yuri Foreman and these kind of guys. What are your thoughts on Turkey buying Ring Magazine? I touched on it earlier. I did a whole video about it that I haven't dropped yet, but I'm gonna edit it really soon and post it. I think Turkey and the Saudis are in the midst of creating a monopoly on the sport, and I'm not really sure how to feel about a monopoly being created on the sport. Like, in theory, it could work. It could be a good thing because we'll get fights and everything will be organized. But I don't know. We'll see. Like, I'm taking the wait and see approach with how it all pans out. But I don't like the fact that Turkey has so many pieces on the chessboard, because now if there's a fighter that Riyadh season wants to do well, they can just manipulate the outcomes however they want, because they have so many things on the chessboard in their favor. They have sanctioning bodies in their favor. They have Ring Magazine in their favor. They have almost every power broker in boxing under their roof. So hopefully there's not any collusion going on, but I think there is going to be some foul play, as there is in any line of business and things at this level. Lara gets women and Carlos Adames are complaining like women on Twitter. You said it, not me, Harold, but shout out to everybody here. It's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire, giving you guys a nice 2-hour live stream. I got this Airbnb for one night because the place that I normally stay in, that I'm going to go back to tomorrow, the place I normally stay in didn't have today or yesterday available, or today available. yesterday and today available, so I had to come to this place for a night, and then I gotta check out of here soon and then go to another place, and then I'll go back to where I normally stay. But I had to take advantage of being able to talk, because normally when I go to these like Airbnbs, we can't really talk. So I got my own place. I've been sitting down. Do you guys want the grand tour of BT's Airbnb? If you want to, say yes. If you don't care, just say I don't care or say no. Do you guys want the grand tour? Shout out to Pops in the chat with the $10 super chat. Thank you, Pops. Good to see you in the chat. I'm gonna be here for like another 40 minutes or so. So get your questions in. All you guys that are here, make sure you smash that like button. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Super chat. If you guys get any questions, go ahead, ask them, boxing and or non-boxing related. So okay, you guys are saying yes. So let's give you guys the grand tour. Let me get up and let's get the juices flowing, because my body's a little stiff from sitting down and it's cold. So all right, so this is the grand tour, and don't mind the mess. But so basically, I'll show you guys the outside. So basically, forget the outside. We'll focus on the inside. So look, here's the bed. It's a very nice, spacious bed. It's actually a bed big enough for two. So it's a nice little bed. You got the TV there, which I haven't turned on, Then you got the little plant over there, which gives it a nice little touch of class. Got the little AC thing right here, right? Got that. And then, I haven't really stayed in too many places in Japan, because, like, when I come to Japan, there's a specific place that I stay in, and it's like a dorm because it's really cheap. So I haven't really stayed in the actual, like, Japanese type of apartment. So this is pretty cool. I like this. Got the fridge here. Got the fridge. You got the microwave here. Got the stove top right here. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the little office space where I was just sitting. And then you come over here. You got the bathroom. Now, I like this. You got the toilet there, right? Got the toilet there, which I gotta flush, by the way. Hold on. Then you got the washing machine here. I'm not sure what none of this says, and I'm not sure if there's a dryer or if this is like all inclusive or how this works. Like, I can't read Japanese, but they got the washing machine here. Come over here. You got the sink here, and then you got the tub and the shower there. So living large and living in charge. That's the life of it's the life of true school. It's a lot nicer than what I'm accustomed to staying here in Japan. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. He said, my man Lord Zest says, I love it. I don't need a big space. Yeah, I don't need a big space either. Like, I'm not here with nobody. I'm just here by myself. So it's pretty cool. Minimalism. If you're like a minimalist, this is a minimalist's dream. My man Hockey, he says, hi BT, good to see you, man. Shout out to you out there in Malaysia. Hope all is well. Hyro says, does this Airbnb feel like your apartment you lived in with Paul? It actually feels better, because in that apartment I lived in all those years ago, Hyro, I didn't have a stove. I didn't have a nice stove like that. So it's actually nicer, It's nicer than where I lived with Paul. But shout out to Paul. Too Short says, he says, Pops, your son is capping. We all know the real reason he's out there. I'm here, bro. I'm actually here just to creatively recharge. All I've been doing in Japan is just relaxing, staying out of the way, been going to parks, been praying a lot, been doing videos, been making content, been talking to my friends in the Japanese boxing community to set things up. I'm just getting them creative juices flowing again. I've been listening to a lot of Kanye West. I'm trying to just really get into the mindset of being creative, and Japan really makes me feel free and creative. So yeah. Shout out to Matt. He says, what are your thoughts, and thank you for the super chat. What are your thoughts about Keyshawn Davis fighting someone over 6.5 pounds higher than him tonight? I'm expecting an upset now. Lemos isn't no slouch. I'm expecting this to be a straight dog fight. Keyshawn was saying that he's happy because, he's able to keep more money for himself. But truthfully speaking, Devin Haney said the same thing before he got his ass whooped by Ryan Garcia too. So I don't know if it's going to bode well for him. Even if Lemos would have made the weight comfortably, it would still be a tough fight, because Lemos is a tough out for anybody. But But I just think it's a it's a tougher task now. So if Keyshawn Davis, if he goes in there and he whoops up on Gustavo Lemos with him being 6 pounds and some change overweight, then it's actually gonna he's actually gonna get more credit for it. If Lemos wins, he really won't get too much credit. You can use Google Translate. The live camera will show you what the washing machine says. That Ty Lee Yang says that. Okay, I'll try that when I'm done with the live, but I gotta check out of here soon. I wish I could have did it earlier so I could wash my clothes. Just a creative recharge? Is that what they're calling it these days? Yeah, that's what they're calling it these days. Nah, I really did need this creative recharge because it's very demanding. There's only one BT, there's only one true school. To cover boxing the way I cover it, people don't understand. Like, and I could try to explain it to them and show them, but it's very mentally demanding. It's very very mentally demanding. I still can't get over Raul Valenzuela losing to Chris Colbert, even if he did someone get robbed. You know, I'm in the very small minority. I didn't think he got robbed that fight. I thought he lost. I thought Chris Colbert legitimately beat him, and I think Chris Colbert legitimately beat Raul Valenzuela, and I thought honestly that where Chris Colbert went terribly wrong was Chris Colbert should have moved his ass back down to 130. The minute he beat Rob Valenzuela, he should have went back down to 130 immediately, and he should have went ahead and try to pursue things there. But he gave him the rematch, and he got put on a meme for life. So just terrible management. Some people, whoever was in his corner or were part of his team, they didn't look out for his best interests, and that's just the truth. Shout out to my man Matt Borgerson with the $10 super chat. He says, "I'm just more baffled that they didn't cancel the fight. The damage Keyshawn is risking if he gets beaten pillar to post is dangerous. He's not defensive like Hitchens. Keyshawn will meet the canvas tonight." So Matt is predicting a knockdown for Gustavo Lemos, and we shall see. It wouldn't shock me. Lemos is really punching like that. I tried to warn Richardson Hitchens in advance via video, like, because he saw my video when that fight first got signed. Hitchens decided to get all mad at me and be all pissy and pop his shit at me when he saw me in person, trying to press me. And then he fought Lemos and he got his shit pushed back. That had the hardest fight of his career. So with that being said, yeah, like, Lemos is a tough fighter. Lemos is gonna give Keyshawn a tough fight. I believe in Keyshawn. I think Keyshawn Davis is gonna pull through. I think that he's just, and in the end, he's going to be a little too sharp for Gustavo Lemos, and he'll break him down and get him out of there around, like, round 9. But yeah, it is a risk, though, because think about it. Keyshawn Davis, he's supposed to be one of the big stars, next big stars of the lightweight division. Top ranked boxing, has a lot invested into him. This is his homecoming, his first headlining fight in front of his hometown. These headlining fights are hard enough as it is for these homecoming fights for fighters are hard enough as it is because everybody's asking for tickets last minute. There's a lot of things fighters got to deal with when they come back home. Sometimes it's better just to not be at home, and a lot is riding on the line for type of Keyshawn Davis. So I like him a lot. He's one of the young fighters I really really do like, and I want to see him pull through, but he's in a disadvantageous position nonetheless, with the Lemos being in 6 pounds over. Thank you for the super chat again, Matt. Thank you. By the way, Pops, Hyro's been trying to call you. Hockey says, content creators need an environment that can boost their creativity. This industry is hard and demanding. Good luck. It is. It's so, like, and I'm not sitting here saying I got it so bad and my life is so terrible. No. My life is great. I get to do what I love and make money off of it. And not a lot of people can say that. So I'm so blessed that I get on my knees and I thank God every day for that. But yeah, it is very mentally demanding, and it's good to be in a creative environment like Japan, where just how can you not get inspired being in Japan? Do you think Boots or Bam opponents can pull out the upset? I think Of the two, I think I would probably lean towards Bam's opponent. Or no, not yeah, Bam's opponent probably being more likely to pull an upset, but they'll both win. Boots isn't gonna lose to Karen, and Bam isn't gonna lose to Pedro Guevara. But if I had to pick between the two, I'd say Pedro has a slightly better chance. Credit to Keyshawn Davis for taking a tough fight, unlike Tank. Yeah, I mean it's a tough fight, and I don't know. Let me ask you guys this: if Gervonta Davis was fighting Gustavo Lemos right now, would you guys give him credit for taking that fight? Is that a fight where you would give him credit, or is it just because the standard is higher for Tank Davis because of the hype? Let me know. Just say in the comments yes or no. Would you give credit for Tank taking a tough fight against Gustavo Lemos if he was fighting him right now and it wasn't Keyshawn Davis? Let me know in the comments down below. Shout out to everybody here. We got like what 25 minutes left, so I'm gonna run it 25 more minutes. It's been a great live stream. It's been a great live stream, spending time with you guys. Being here in Japan. At some point in time when I get some things in order, I'm gonna go get this pocket Wi-Fi so I can stream on the streets of Japan, so we can really have some fun. My man Kiyoung Kau, he says, yes, sir, all the best from the UK. I used to live in Hong Kong. If you get the chance to go, I would recommend it. Listen, I've been blessed to travel a little bit in my life, not just around the States, but, going to different countries. I would love to go see places I've never been to before, so why not? 140, yes. Yeah, I would give him some credit, especially given the landscape. If the fight was legit, then yes. Okay. Well, there you go. But I wouldn't cream my pants at the same time. Gustavo is kind of wild. Yeah, he's a gunslinger. That's the term that Stacey McKinley likes to use for fighters like Gustavo Lemos. Guys that are kind of wild and throw their punches from weird angles. Solid fighter, good fighter, credible fighter, but a gunslinger, unpredictable. Keyshawn been calling out the 140 champion, so why not take the fight at 140? maybe that's what Gustavo Lemos thought. Maybe Gustavo Lemos probably heard Keyshawn Davis saying he want to fight Tio. He said, okay, here's some practice for Tio. I'm gonna come in at 140. So in that case, if you want to look at it that way, then it ain't so bad he came in 6 pounds overweight. It's a good thing he came in 6 pounds overweight. What do you think of the Undisputed Games? There's loads of boxers missing. Yes, there are loads of boxers missing. I like the game. It's the most realistic boxing game I've ever played. Like, you can't just press the same buttons and spam the same buttons like you do on Fight Night. Fighters, like, if you throw too many punches early in fights, your guys will get tired and they will lose stamina down the stretch. You got to manage your stamina. There are some fighters missing in the game. I actually, at some point soon, I want to talk to Todd Grisham, who helps get fighters in the game. I want to try to get Angelo Leo in the game. The game can't be undisputed if the best featherweight in the world ain't in there. So I want to try to get my friend in the game. On the State of the Boxing show, Bradley goes in on Tank and asks why a fight with Edwin De Los Santos couldn't happen. I'm not a De Los Santos fan, but I agree. Why? I have no idea. I've asked the same question. I thought that the Edwin De Los Santos fight made a lot more sense than Lamont Roach. I got nothing against Lamont Roach. I like Lamont Roach, but De Los Santos is a Shakur Stevenson opponent. The boxing world is clamoring to see Gervonta Davis against Shakur Stevenson. So the natural progression of things should have led to Gervonta Davis fighting a dangerous guy like that, who's with PBC, who you could have used as a clear measuring stick to how he would do against Shakur Stevenson. But they went Lamar Roach because, I got nothing against Tank. I'm actually over the years I've become a big Gervonta Davis fan because he's one of the coolest fighters I've dealt with in person. I think he's really honest. When you talk to him, I tend to have good moments with him at his media days when I do cover him. So I like Tank. But the reality is the pattern of his career has been to beat up on smaller fighters. And people will say, oh, BT, he fought Mario Barrios, he fought this guy, he fought that guy. You get these Tank dick riders that flap their gums. But, for all the guys he's fought, like Rolly and Barrios or whatever, that you could consider bigger than him or whatever. He's fought Jesus Cuellar, Hugo Ruiz, Leo Santa Cruz, Hector Garcia, now Lamont Roach. Like he's made a career of beating up on smaller guys from different weight classes, and that's not hate. Just because I state a fact, that doesn't mean I'm downplaying his abilities. That doesn't mean I'm saying that he's not a fantastic talent, because he is a fantastic talent. He is a dominant fighter. He is a box office fighter. He is a ticket seller. He is all those things. But he is also somebody that has had a very calculated, careful, hand-picked opponents in many scenarios in his career. That cannot be refuted. I'm actually to the point where I'm like, you know what, man? Are we ever going to get a chance to really see Gervonta Davis at the peak of his powers in a truly significant, like upper echelon 50-50 pay-per-view fight like a Shakur Stevenson? I'm to that point. Like, will Tank age himself out of being in a truly significant fight before he's out of his prime? That's the question I'm having. I don't like the shit that Tank said about Beterbiev. Yeah, he said that Beterbiev was ass, which is ridiculous because Artur Beterbiev, like Tank I like Tank. I think Tank's got a lot of potential, but Beterbiev, he is not. Let's just call it a spade a spade. He's not Beterbiev. Nick Ball should unify with Leo or Figueroa. Listen, man. Speaking as part of Team Leo, like I would love Nick Ball to come see us at some point. I don't think that's gonna happen next because I have an idea who Angelo's fighting next, and it's not gonna be a champion. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Maybe like in the middle. I'm thinking maybe in the middle of the year. God willing, of course, you can't overlook who the opponent is in front of you, but maybe like in the middle of the year we can get Angelo against one of the champions. That's my fingers are crossed for. I was a Tank fan up until then, actually, but not now. I'm a Tank fan. I just want to see him in a significant fight before he's not in his prime anymore. I don't even give a damn for just one fight. I want to see him against Shakur Stevenson before he's not his best anymore. And he's already 30, so it's like speed the fuck up already. Respectfully. Get the mandatory out of the way. I think it's Tomoki. It could be. It could be a lot of guys. We'll see. We will see who it is. I can't say who it is because nothing is concrete yet. But I'm really excited about what it could be. BT, do you see BoxRec has a vote for pound? Spoiler: I put Leo in the top 10. Good. Shout out to you, champ. Put him in the top 10. Nah, I didn't see that. I didn't see. Are you talking about the new feature? It's the fan vote. If you're talking about the new fan vote feature on BoxRec, I have seen it. So if you put Angelo in the top 10, thank you. Roach could ruin the party for Tank. Could ruin the party for Tank. I like Lamont Roach, and I'd want to see him like do well, and I wouldn't mind seeing him win. I like him a lot. I had a good time talking to him last year when I interviewed him at the WBA convention, but like I just don't see how Lamont Roach is going to beat Tank. Like he's outgunned in hand speed. He's gonna be outgunned in punching power. He's gonna be outgunned in athleticism. I even think he's probably outgunned in the IQ department. Like, there's no advantage stylistically or attribute-wise he has an advantage in. So I'll tell you guys like this. If he beat Gervonta Davis, he should win Upset of the Year, and he should win Fighter of the Year. Straight up. He might even have a case for Fighter of the Year if he beats Tank. Because it's ridiculous how outgunned he is. But I think for as long as it lasts, he's going to come to fight. I don't think he's going to do a... He's not going to do a Jermell Charlo and lay down and spread his proverbial ass cheeks to just lay down for the check and let Tank have an easy night at the office. He's going to go and come to fight. So anything less than Lamont Roach giving his best, then I'll have some things to say about it. I have Leo at number 9. I appreciate that, man. Personally, Angelo's my friend, and I'm part of the team, but I don't even have Angelo in the top 10 pound for pound yet. So I appreciate you thinking of him so highly. Hopefully, we'll get on the list at some point. You lose to Jamel Herring, and you're going to beat Tank. I mean, and to his credit, that was years ago. I'm not a big fan of if a fighter, let's say a fighter loses, if a fighter lost a fight 3 years or more ago, I don't like holding losses that a fighter had 3 years or more ago against them. That fight was like in 2020. It was a long time ago. Maybe even 2019. Like that fight was very early in his career. He's gotten better since then. He's matured physically and mentally more. But yeah, I mean, Jamel Herring aside, I just think he's outgunned in every single department. Hyro, I'm too mentally shot out to go ahead and be talking to address your Marvin Hagler slander. You always slag. You always go ahead and slander Marvin Hagler, but then you want to dick ride these guys on PBC that never accomplished 1/30th of what Marvin Hagler did in his career. So I'm not gonna address it. Why have boxing promotions have to spend all their money on who? Wait, let me see. Why is boxing promotions having to spend all their money on who they think the fighters have to save more money on marketing? I'm not really sure. Falling Star, could you rewrite that question? I'm not really sure on the wording of that question. Hand history says, I have Inoue. Okay, so he has Inoue 1, Usyk 2, Better BF 3, Bivol 4, Loma 5, Kenshiro 6, Nakatani 7. Number 8, you put the 105-pound champion, CP Freshmart. Number 9 is Angelo, and number 10 is... Okay, I'm going to talk to Angelo probably later on today because I talk to Angelo almost every day. So when I talk to Angelo, I'll inform him that the infamous, the great, the untouchable Hand History Vault has put on number 9 on the pound-for-pound list. What do I think of the Matchroom versus Golden Boy 5-on-5? I love that. I think I think that would be a really entertaining 5-on-5. Eddie Hearn or Oscar De La Hoya insist that Eddie Hearn doesn't know how to promote and build fighters. So this would be his chance to really put that theory and put that shit talking to the test and match his stable against Matchroom stable. I would love it. Do you like Takuma Inoue, and are you looking forward to him coming back? I do like Takuma Inoue. I think he's a good fighter. I don't think he's quite as explosive or talented as his brother Naya Inoue, but he's been an overachiever in his career. I knew that he was gonna lose to Seiya Tsutsumi because Seiya Tsutsumi was just the wrong fight for him. But definitely always gives it his best. Definitely a good fighter. Definitely someone worth our time and attention in boxing, and hopefully he can come back better. Who do you think Baranchyk will fight next, Murataya or Keyshawn Davis? I'm gonna say Murataya. I think Murataya isn't like let's be real. Murataya is good against a specific style, and that's been proven time and time again. He's very good against the come forward pressure style fighters with leaky defense. He's not good against movers. He had a hard time cutting out the ring against Terran Farmer. Baranchyk is the most beatable champion in the weight class, so it's a fight he could lose, but I think that'd be his best chance to get a world title at 135. So I think Murataya gets that fight if Top Rank has any interest in making him a world champion anytime soon. And he might lose that fight because Baranchyk is still he's not like an A+ fighter or anything like that, but he's a good mover, good amateur experience, knows his way around the ring. That could be a fight where he loses because Murataya against Terran Farmer showed a severe disability to not make adjustments in fights. So yeah. Better Be Air probably doesn't even know who Gervonta Davis is. He probably doesn't. He doesn't watch boxing. Why do promoters spend all their money on who they think is the fighter and not saying my money? Oh, I get you. So you're saying why do they spend money on fighters they think will be champion instead of just building the whole roster? That's a good question. I would say the reason that it's like that is because a lot of these fighters, when they turn pro and they come out of the amateurs, if they won tournaments or they were Olympians, what that signifies to promoters is that these guys have a chance to have a higher chance of guys that maybe didn't win the Olympics or didn't have a great amateur career to progress and go far on the pro. So they put their money behind them immediately. But then sometimes those guys don't perform up to expectation. I wish boxing was how you say it was. I wish boxing would be like, you know what? We're gonna market the whole roster of fighters we have, and whoever is the best is the best. But that's not how it goes. Boxing likes to try to determine who the stars are oftentimes before they even really proven anything. Look at Ryan Garcia. Look at Devin Haney. Look at all these guys. A lot of these guys had successful amateur careers. But then, for example, you could have a fighter like, Angelo Leo. Angelo Leo didn't have no big, like a long, he didn't go to the Olympics or have this Lomachenko-esque amateur career. But a lot of times, these fighters that have these long amateur careers, they stay in the amateurs for too long, and then what winds up happening is they wind up getting burnt out early in their pro career, and then they don't do anything in the pros. But then sometimes you can get fighters like an Angelo that don't have 300 amateur fights, but they have, let's say, 60, 70, 80 amateur fights, and they're not burnt out, and then they don't have all these amateur habits that they carry with them into the pros, and they have more of a pro style early in their career. So there's pros and cons to having a long amateur career versus having a shorter amateur career. And I don't think that's talked about enough. What are your thoughts on Munguia fighting under the Top Rank banner again? Good for him. If they're gonna keep him busy and give him a good fight, give him big fights, then good for him. Munguia's issue has never been activity. It's just more so who the hell he's fighting against. That's been the issue. He's one of the bigger cherry pickers in boxing. Takuma is definitely good enough to bounce back. He played Seiya's game and got beat, but in terms of raw talent, him and Kosei Tanaka are the best of their birth year. I think 7 from their birth year became world champion. I never knew that. What year were they born? That's a very interesting fact that I didn't know that I needed to know, but now I know. So thank you. I just think with Seiya Tsutsumi, fighters like Seiya Tsutsumi, if you try to box a guy like that, he's gonna make you fight. Like, you gotta know how to fight. And the thing is, Takuma, he knows how to box, but he don't really know how to fight. There's a difference. Like, he knows how to fight that disciplined, regimented, educated Japanese style, but he don't really know how to fight. Like, when the gap closes and the walls are drawn, he don't know how to fight like that. And that's why I think that's why I thought Seiya would be a tough fight for him. That's why I think Seiya would be a tough fight for Junto, because Junto obviously is more skilled than Takuma Inoue is, but I'm not sure Junto can fight on the inside like that. He can go to the body, but could he really sit there in the pocket and fight? That's why I want to see that fight. Who am I picking between Zoro and Chris Smith? That's a freaking hard fight to pick. To me, that's like that's a damn near 50-50 fight. It's hard to really make what Zoro is at cruiserweight, because his one fight at cruiserweight was against a blown up light heavyweight in Joe Smith Jr., who was coming off from inactivity and who he was able to box in circles against. Chris Smith is extremely physically strong. He knows how to make guys fight him in the pocket. And he's been getting underestimated his whole career. I even underestimated him at one point when he fought Isaac Chamberlain, And he has a way of taking fighters that are athletic and using it against them. And like, Zoro is not like really athletic, but I think he's a little more athletic than Chris Smith. So I like them both. These are actually probably 2 of my favorite fighters from the UK and Mexico fighting each other. I'm leaning towards Chris Smith by decision in a really competitive fight. That's where I'm at right now. But it's hard to write off Zoro. This school year is 95-96. It includes Shikichi Iwata, Seigo Yuriokoi, Seiya, and a few others. Okay, that's good to know. I was born myself in 1995, so that's a great year for the world, 1995. The year that the untouchable True School Sports Empire, your boy BT, Brendan Taylor, was born. So, yeah, thank you for that. I didn't know I needed to know that, so I appreciate all this valuable information you have bestowed upon me, But make sure y'all smash that like button. We got like 7 more minutes left. We'll go another 10. I'm gonna give you guys 10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get up and out of here. But because I have to get some things done before I check out of here. But if you got any questions, boxing and or non-boxing related, go ahead and do that. If you want to super chat and help me out with this trip to Japan, definitely go ahead and super chat. Will be a big help. But yeah. My man right here says, I love your passion for the sport. Boxing media needs folks like you. Thank you for what you do. Hold on, I'm gonna screenshot that comment. Oh yeah, I'm gonna screenshot that. Thank you, man. I love boxing, and I got into the sport because one of the reasons why I started covering boxing was because I felt like it wasn't being covered the way I don't want it to be covered as a fan, and so I try to cover it the way I don't want as a boxing fan. So thank you so much, and people like you and comments like that are why I'm still going. And even sometimes where there's times where I get down and ask myself, what am I really doing? Am I really doing with my life what I'm supposed to be doing? People like yourself really make this boxing thing worthwhile. So thank you. And yeah, tough to figure out where Tanaka goes from here. Him and Ioka seem to be nearing the end, unfortunately. I think. Listen, Kosai lost a close fight to Kafu. I don't think he's done yet. I think I still think Kosai can come back and become champion again. But I think it's fair to say, he's reached his ceiling at 115. He's never going to scale past 115. Um, and nor do I think he'll probably ever be the best fighter in this weight class. It's just the truth. Like, he got outworked by Kafu and he got beat the hell up by Ioka. So can he be champion again? Sure, why not? But he's got to work. He's still got to work on his defense. Like, those defensive mistakes that he made in the Ioka fight, they reared their ugly head in the Kafu fight, and it cost him. So he's one of my favorite fighters in boxing, and I hope he comes back. My man MJ says, I believe Lester Martinez beats Munguia and Berlanga. I'm not sure about a technical guy like Pacheco or a dangerous puncher like Iglesias. Lester Martinez is as strong as a mule. He punches really, really hard, and I know he's been getting better and improving, working with Team Crawford and those guys. I would like to see him against in those kind of step up fights, and if not that fight, I want to see him do this fight with Joe Sean James. Joe Sean James is a good fighter. And I think that could be an absolute classic fight on Pro Box TV. Um, Lester Martinez would be versus Joe Sean James would be a good fight. If he gets past Joe Sean James, I think the ideal fight after that would be a fight against Beck the Bully, Bektir Melikuziev. That's what I'd like to see, but you know, we'll see how it pans out for him. Richard Riakporhe is a good fighter, and Chris Smith beat him. Chris Smith beat a lot of good fighters. He beat Isaac Chamberlain. He beat Richard Riakporhe. He beat Lawrence Okoli. He pretty much conquered the whole British cruiserweight scene, which is not a small feat. The cruiserweight division is a British division. So if you conquer the UK, you essentially have conquered cruiserweight. When did you get to Japan, BT? I've been in Japan now for, I think, 4 days now, 4 or 5 days. I'm still getting used to the time zone again, and I'll be here for a little bit of time. So, yeah, got a lot of really fun, exciting things planned. This will be the first of many exciting lives. I'm not sure when I'll be live again after this. I might not go live for like another week or so. I don't know, because where I'm staying now, I gotta check out of here soon, and then I'll be going to another the Airbnb I normally stay in, which is like a dorm where I can't be talking loud like this. So, you know, soon enough I'll start doing lives on the streets and things like that. Do an interview with some of those badass Japanese boxers. I am. I got one right now with Seiya Tsutsumi coming up on the 20th. I'm just waiting for him to confirm a time with me, but on the 20th is the day I'm supposed to interview him. That would be a great step-up fight for him against Beck Woolley. Thanks for interacting with your subscribers and always putting out great content. Keep doing your thing. You're one of the best and most consistent. Thank you. Thank you. Let me screenshot that comment. Yeah, man. I try to always keep that relationship with my audience, because one thing I noticed with a lot of the bigger channels here on YouTube is that when they get to like a certain amount of subscribers, or when they get to a certain level of popularity, they don't really make an effort to interact with their subscribers. And like, honestly, I don't have this platform if it's not for you guys, the boxing fans. I'd have to work. I would have to work a regular job if it wasn't for you guys, the boxing fans. So thankfully, you guys resonate with my content here, and that's why I'm still here going for the hardworking, honest, dedicated boxing fans like me. So thank you guys so much. I can't even begin to properly put it in the words what the support means. Ask Saya for the price of his outfit. The dude legit almost goes into debt spending money on clothes. I believe it because I've seen some of the pictures that he has and of his outfits, and the dude's drippy. The dude knows how to style himself. Maybe I might ask him to come take me to go shopping in Japan because he has a good taste in clothes. I hope the Saya interview does happen. That's a great interview. Thank you. Yeah. That he's the one fighter from Japan right now that I want to interview just because he's obviously got a very interesting career. You know, when you think about what happened with him and Kazuki Anaguchi, with him tragically dying, that's like it's tragic, but you know it's part of the sport and it's a very fascinating like fight. It was a great fight too. Then you have him beating Inoue's brother. Then you have him potentially being in a position to fight Junto. Like he's probably one of the more interesting Japanese fighters to interview right now. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, who else are you interviewing other than Seiya? Right now, there's nothing locked in, but there's a show on the 12th that I got invited to, and a show on the 19th that I got invited to. I'm not even sure who's fighting on the cards, but the owner of the gym that Jin Sasaki trains at, I'll tell you guys the name of the gym right now because I'm tired of saying Jin Sasaki's gym. It's the where is it? So the owner of the, and I'm probably gonna butcher this name, the Hachi Oji Nakaya gym. That's where Jin Sasaki trains. I've been in contact with him, and he invited me to go to. They have a boxing show on the 19th, so I'm going to that. And then there's a show on the 12th, a smaller card. I'm not even sure who's fighting on it, but I'm probably gonna be at both of those shows. So we'll get our first taste in person of Japanese boxing. Those 12th and 19th cards are probably small fights. Yes, they are. They're smaller shows. And then I'm working on trying to get into Naoya Inoue's media day for the Sam Goodman fight. So I've been talking to people at Top Rank, Inoue sparring partners. I've been reaching out like an MF trying to get that done. Jim Sasaki is a good fighter too. I hope we can get an interview with him. Yeah. So the gym that he trains at, I was talking to the guy there, and he told me Jin Sasaki is supposed to return to Japan on December 11th because he's fighting on the Inoue card on December 24th. So I'm going to try to get the Jin Sasaki interview on December 11th, and I think he'll set it up for me. So probably Seiya and Jin Sasaki for now, and, you know, probably get in contact with Kosai Tanaka again, talk to him, get in contact with Kenshiro again, talk to him, you know, Homura Fujita, probably talk to him. I was just talking to Homura Fujita on Instagram the other day. So there's definitely a lot of options of things we could do here in Japan, and it'll take some time for things to develop, but trust me, as the longer I'm here, the better it's gonna get. So just be patient with me and just keep watching all the content here on True School Sports. And thank you to everybody who's tuned into the live and super chatted. You should have just wait until New Year's Eve and go to the Inoue Goodman card. I'm gonna be here till then. I'm gonna be here till that. I'll be here till then. And we'll be going to all that. So don't. I mean, maybe not Inoue Goodman because I don't know. Inoue Goodman's just tough because Inoue is anything with him involved is just like it's hard to get into anything. It's hard to get tickets. It's hard to get media access. It's hard to get into the gym. Like everything's just hard. So I'm not really like stressing myself about Inoue. I've taken the attitude of like if it happens, it happens, and it's God. It's God's will. It's not mine. If you know, if it's meant to be, it'll truly be. If it's not, then you know I'll just continue to go about my business. You could at least attend the card. I'd have to enter the lottery system, and then I'd have to be picked, and then it's like a whole thing. So I'm gonna enter the lottery and see what happens, and then I also have a friend that's working on getting me a ticket, and then I'm taking all kinds of avenues to do something Inoue related while I'm out here, but so far right now, not tons of progress. Just being honest, not tons of progress. So it is what it is there. Jimbo says that Seiya Tsutsumu's post-fight speech was inspirational. What did he say? And I don't even remember what he said. Japan is an amazing country. I love being here. Who do I think will win between Suleiman Sissoko and Kavaluskis? That's a good fight. I
That's a very good fight, actually. Very even fight. I'll lean slightly towards Me Machine, but I can see Sissoko winning that fight too. But I like Me Machine. I think Me Machine's boxing skills along with his power is gonna be enough in that fight. What have I done boxing wise? And I haven't gone to no gyms in Japan yet. I just like literally I got here. I just been chilling. I went to Shibuya 2 days ago. Yesterday I just and then I was tired because I hung out. I hung out like almost a day, like literally almost 24 hours straight in Shibuya, having fun. Then yesterday I was dead tired from that, so I checked in here and went to sleep. And now, as soon as I'm done with this live, I gotta check out of here and then figure out what the next move is. And then so I haven't really done like a lot of things. Like I haven't done anything boxing wise in Japan yet, but next week I will be. So or in 3 days I will be when I cover this one boxing show. So yeah, just stay tuned. You guys will get content. You guys will get uh, unique, special Japanese boxing content you can only get here on True School Sports. Um, do you know about the Japanese boxer who was named Masanori Rikishi? Yes, he's a 130 pounder. He had one of the best fights this year against the Italian Michael Magnesi, I think that was his name, and he's a contender. He's southpaw, good fighter. Um, when is Mungia gonna grow some balls? I mean, I don't know. You gotta ask him that question. I don't know. All right, but guys, look. On that note, we've reached the 2 hour mark. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But look, thank you guys for joining the live. When I get a chance to do more of these longer lives here in Japan, I will. So I can't guarantee when the next one is, but hope you enjoyed this one. And if you're watching the playback, I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you to everybody who super chatted and liked and asked questions and things like that. I got like 3 or 4 videos sitting on my dashboard that I made in Shibuya the other day that I'm gonna edit. So those will be coming out slowly but surely. I know Keyshawn Davis is fighting here in a couple hours, so once I watch that and things like that, I'll definitely go ahead and make my post-fight review videos and things like that. But yeah, thank you guys for the support. It's immense. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.